Welcome back to the second part of the chapter Physical World. Today we will begin the lesson with the topic Fundamental Forces in Nature. We all have an intuitive notion of force. In our experience, force is needed to push, carry, or throw objects, deform, or break them. We also experience the impact of forces on us, like when we move an object, when a moving object hits us, or we are in a merry-go-round. Going from this intuitive notion to the proper scientific concept of force is not a trivial matter. Early thinkers like Aristotle had wrong ideas about it. The correct notion of force was arrived at by Isaac Newton in his famous laws of motion. He also gave an explicit form for the force for gravitational attraction between two bodies. In the macroscopic world, besides the gravitational force, we encounter several kinds of forces: muscular force, contact forces between bodies, friction, which is also a contact force parallel to the surfaces in contact, the forces exerted by compressed or elongated springs and taut springs and ropes, the force of buoyancy and viscous force when solids are in contact with fluids, the force due to pressure of a fluid, the force due to surface tension of a liquid, and so on. There are also forces involved with charged and magnetic bodies. In the microscopic domain, again, we have electric and magnetic forces, nuclear forces involving protons and neutrons, interatomic and intermolecular forces. A great insight of the 20th century physics is that these different forces occurring in different contexts actually arise from only a small number of fundamental forces in nature. For example, the elastic spring force arises due to the net attraction or repulsion between the neighboring atoms of the spring when the spring is elongated or compressed. This net attraction or repulsion can be traced to the unbalanced sum of electric forces between the charged constituents of the atoms. In principle, this means that the laws for derived forces such as spring force, friction, are not independent of the laws of fundamental forces in nature. At the present stage of our understanding, we know of four fundamental forces in nature. They are the gravitational force, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, and weak nuclear force. Now, a comparative study of all these forces is presently coming on your screen, and while going through it, you will get a brief idea as to what is the strength of these forces, what is the range of these forces, like up to which distance you can feel the impact of these forces, up to which distance these are operative, and the particles between which this force may exist. For example, as far as strong forces are concerned, they exist between gluons or pions. They are operative at a distance of 10 to the power minus 15 meter, that is 1 for me, and as compared to the other forces, the strength is 1. Now, this is a comparable value. As far as electromagnetic forces are concerned, they exist between particles such as photons. Mass is 0, spin is 1, mass, now it is a relativistic mass, strength 1 by 137 times, and range is infinite. Weak nuclear force, comparative strength 10 to the power minus 6, range is 10 to the power minus 18, that is 0.1% of the diameter of a proton, and it acts between intermediate vector bosons. Spin is 1 and mass is greater than 80 giga electron volt. Finally, the gravitational force exists between any two objects in this entire universe. The strength is 6 into 10 to the power minus 39. It's a comparable value. The range is infinite, and particles, they are the gravitons. So we shall be briefly discussing about all these forces one by one. Let us begin with the strong force. A force which can hold a nucleus together against the enormous forces of repulsion of the protons is strong indeed. However, it is not an inverse square force like the electromagnetic force, and it has a very short range. Yukawa, the scientists model the strong force as an exchange force in which the exchange particles are pions and the other heavier particles. The range of a particle exchange force is limited by the uncertainty principle that was given by Heisenberg. It is the strongest of the four fundamental forces. Now, you might be surprised to know that the strongest force in nature is existing between particles that cannot be even seen through naked eye. This means the strongest force in nature exists in the microscopic domain. You all have studied about the structure of an atom. You know that almost the entire mass and the entire positive charge of the atom is concentrated in a very small region given by the name of nucleus. What are the type of particles present inside the nucleus? They are the nucleons, collective name given to protons that carry positive charge and neutrons that are neutral particles. Now just imagine the size of a nucleus, which is of the order of 10 to the power minus 15 meter, that is 1 Fermi. Just imagine so many positively charged particles are confined in such a small space. So it is quite obvious that these positively charged particles will exert a huge repulsive force on each other. So if such a strong repulsive force is existing within the particles in such a small distance, then the nucleus should disrupt, because obviously the repulsive force will tend to push away the particles. So what is that force which is actually responsible for holding the particles together? Obviously, to work against the repulsive force, this force needs to be an attractive one. Now, since this force has to be strong enough to overcome the huge repulsive force existing between the positively charged particles present inside the nucleus, so this force is called the strong nuclear force. So, the strong nuclear force binds protons and neutrons in a nucleus. It is evident that without some attractive force, a nucleus will be unstable due to the electric repulsion between its protons. This attractive force cannot be gravitational, since force of gravity is negligible compared to the electric force. So, a new basic force must therefore be invoked. The strong nuclear force is the strongest of all fundamental forces, about 100 times the electromagnetic force in strength. The striking factor regarding strong nuclear force is that it is charge independent. It does not depend upon the nature of the charge carried by the particles, and acts equally between a proton and a proton, a neutron and a neutron, and a proton and a neutron. Its range is, however, extremely small, of about nuclear dimension, that is 10 to the power minus 15 meter. It is responsible for the stability of nuclei. But you must remember that the electron does not experience this force. Recent developments have, however, indicated that protons and neutrons are built out of still more elementary constituents called quarks. Coming to the electromagnetic force. One of the four fundamental forces, the electromagnetic force, manifests itself through the forces between charges, Coulomb's law, and the magnetic force, both of which are summarized in the Lorentz force law. Now, this will be discussed in a bit more detail in class 12 syllabus. This is just an introduction, but a little bit regarding Coulomb's law has already been explained in class 10. We have studied that the force existing between two charged particles, if the charges carried by the particles are given by q1 and q2, and these two charged particles have been kept at a distance r apart from each other, then the force existing between these two charged particles is given by the expression F equal to k times q1 q2 by r square, where k is the constant equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 and having a value of 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. The Lorentz force you can see in the expression for magnetic force F equal to qv cross b. Fundamentally, both magnetic and electric forces are manifestations of an exchange force involving the exchange of photons. The quantum approach to the electromagnetic force is called quantum electrodynamics. The electromagnetic force is a force of infinite range which obeys the inverse square law. F is inversely proportional to r square and is of the same form as the gravitational force. Now, the expression that we obtain from Newton's law of gravitation, that is universal law of gravitation, is quite similar to the one that you can see right now on your screen. F is equal to k times q1 q2 by r square. Newton's law of gravitation, from which we obtain the expression for gravitational force, in that expression also we find that force is inversely proportional to the square of distance. There is also an inverse square law. So, a similar thing is observed in Coulomb's law. So, electromagnetic force in a nutshell is the force between charged particles. In the simpler case, when charges are at rest, the force is given by Coulomb's law. Attractive for unlike charges and repulsive for like charges. Charges in motion produce magnetic effects and a magnetic field gives rise to a force on a moving charge. Electric and magnetic effects are in general inseparable, hence the name electromagnetic force. Like the gravitational force, electromagnetic force acts over large distances and does not need any intervening medium. It is enormously strong compared to gravity. The electric force between two protons, for example, is 10 to the power 36 times the gravitational force between them for any fixed distance. Matter, as we know, consists of elementary charged constituents like electrons and protons. Since the electromagnetic force is so much stronger than the gravitational force, it dominates all phenomena at atomic and molecular scales. Thus, it is mainly the electromagnetic force that governs the structures of atoms and molecules, the dynamics of chemical reactions, and the mechanical, thermal, and other properties of materials. It underlines the macroscopic forces like tension, friction, normal force, spring force, etc. Now, a contrasting factor between the electromagnetic force and gravitational force is that gravity is always attractive, while electromagnetic force can be attractive or repulsive. Another way of putting it is that mass comes only in one variety, there is no negative mass, but charge comes in two varieties, positive and negative charge. This is what makes all the difference. Matter is mostly electrically neutral, net charge is zero. Thus, electric force is largely zero and gravitational force dominates terrestrial phenomena. Electric force manifests itself in atmosphere where the atoms are ionized and that leads to lightning. If we reflect a little, the enormous strength of the electromagnetic force compared to gravity is evident in our daily life. When we hold a book in our hand, we are balancing the gravitational force on the book due to the huge mass of the earth by the normal force provided by our hand. The latter is nothing but the net electromagnetic force between the charged constituents of our hand and the book at the surface in contact. If electromagnetic force were not intrinsically so much stronger than gravity, the hand of the strongest man would crumble under the weight of a feather. Indeed, to be consistent, in that circumstance, we ourselves would crumple under our own weight. Coming to the weak force. One of the four fundamental forces, the weak interaction involves the exchange of the intermediate vector bosons, the W and the Z. Since the mass of these particles is on the order of 80 gigaelectron volt, the uncertainty principle dictates a range of about 10 to the power minus 18 meters, which is about 0.1% of the diameter of a proton. The weak interaction changes one flavor of quark into another. For example, in the neutron decay depicted by the Feynman diagram, as you can see, one down quark is changed to an up quark, transforming the neutron into a proton. Now, a detailed analysis regarding the weak nuclear force is studied mostly in the postgraduate level when you study in detail about the elementary particles. So, it would be slightly difficult for you all to understand it at this level. It is discussed in detail when you study about nuclear physics. But for the time being, just for the sake of introducing this type of force, I would like to tell you that the weak nuclear force appears only in certain nuclear processes, such as the beta decay of a nucleus, about which you will be studying in class 12th. In beta decay, the nucleus emits an electron and an uncharged particle called neutrino. The weak nuclear force is not as weak as the gravitational force, but much weaker than the strong nuclear and electromagnetic forces. Lastly, the gravitational force. It is the force of mutual attraction between two bodies by the virtue of their masses. Obviously, as we all know, that the expression for gravitational force was given by Sir Isaac Newton in his famous law of gravitation. And the expression is F equal to g times m1 m2 by r square, where g is the universal gravitational constant. It is a universal attractive force. It obeys inverse square law. It is the weakest force in nature. It is conservative, central and long range force. It is caused due to the exchange of particles called gravitons. So it is the force of mutual attraction between any two objects by virtue of their masses. Every object experiences this force due to every other object in the universe. All objects on the earth, for example, experience the force of gravity due to the earth. In particular, gravity governs the motion of the moon and the artificial satellites around the earth, motion of the earth and planets around the sun, and of course the motion of bodies falling to the earth. It plays a key role in the large-scale phenomena of the universe, such as formation and evolution of stars, galaxies, and galactic clusters. So you can see on the screen the example of the four fundamental forces in nature and where these forces can be observed. The strong nuclear force binds the nucleus, electromagnetic force binds the atoms, weak force is present in radioactive decay, and gravitational force binds the solar system. So these are the basic forces or the fundamental forces in nature. I would like to tell you one thing, that great advances in physics often amount to unification of different theories and domains. Newton unified terrestrial and celestial domains under a common law of gravitation. The experimental discoveries of Overstreet and Faraday showed that electric and magnetic phenomena are in general inseparable. Maxwell unified electromagnetism and optics with the discovery that light is an electromagnetic wave. Einstein attempted to unify gravity and electromagnetism but could not succeed in this venture. But this does not deter physicists from zealously pursuing the goal of unification of forces. Recent decades have seen much progress on this front. The electromagnetic and the weak nuclear force have now been unified and are seen as aspects of single electro-weak force. What this unification actually means cannot be explained right now, but attempts have been and are being made to unify the electroweak and the strong force, and even to unify the gravitational force with the rest of the fundamental forces. However, many of these ideas are still speculative and inconclusive. I would like to tell you some of the important contributions made by different scientists in this regard. Like for example, Sir Isaac Newton in 1687 unified celestial and terrestrial mechanics, showed that the same laws of motion and the law of gravitation apply to both the domains. Hans Christian Overstreet in 1820 and Michael Faraday in 1830 showed that electric and magnetic phenomena are inseparable aspects of a unified domain, that is electromagnetism. James Clerk Maxwell in 1873 unified electricity, magnetism and optics, showed that light is an electromagnetic wave. Sheldon Glashow, Abdus Salam and Steven Weinberg in 1979 showed that the weak nuclear force and the electromagnetic force could be viewed as different aspects of a single electroweak force. Carlo Rubbia and Simon van der Meer in 1984 verified experimentally the predictions of the theory of electroweak force.